All right, so good morning and Happy New Year and all that fun stuff. We're actually going to start standing up. I know everybody is sitting down except for Ray. Good job. Take your time.
Take your time, Mommy.
I know it's been a couple weeks since we've had yoga, so if you're stiff, so am I. Don't worry about it. So I might have learned a couple new poses over the break, and I might be learning some more coming up. So stay tuned for next month. I'll know a lot more, but we're going to add a couple this morning anyway. All right. So let's start with our cat and cow. And I did mention that I'm having like an allergy thing, so we're probably not going to do a lot of breathing. So breathe on your own. At your own risk. All right. So feet are nice and wide. Let's do some cat and cow.
I just won't breathe for the next hour.
Okay. No breathing for the next hour. All right. So exhale, cat, bend the knees, tuck the chin, inhale, looking up. And back and forth between the two. And luckily we don't do headstands in class, otherwise I'd have to cancel those too. All right. One or two more in each direction. Excellent. All right. So I'm gonna have to take my glasses off too. One of our new ones is actually table pose. So I'm just gonna do it on the floor. If you want to go sideways on your mat, it's a wide-legged pose. If you want to just do as wide as your mat, that's fine. I'm gonna go a little wider. So we're gonna go so that as far down as is comfortable. You don't have to go all the way this far down, but a little bend in the knees. Or you can go sideways like this. I'm gonna go sideways because this floor is slippery right here. So little bend in the knees so you're not hyperextending. If possible, ears in between the arms. Then we're gonna go side to side with the legs. So we're gonna bend one knee and then bend the other knee. So we'll do that back and forth. Excellent. And then pause back in the center. And then we're going to kind of do a different version of this where we're going to go to one side and lift the heel of that opposite foot. Excellent. Okay. So coming back up, we're just going to use the pole, walk one hand on top of the other, and then step the feet back together and shake it out. Okay, and we have yoga pants that don't have pockets, so do that. My great aunt stuck her Kleenex in her shirt sleeve, right?
Oh, mine didn't hurt.
Oh, down the front.
And then I'll catch all the places when we put it in the washer.
Yep.
Ew.
All right, distracted. Okay, so next one we're gonna do is pyramid pose, which I know we've done before, but we're gonna do it a little bit more dynamically. All right, so pull in front, and we're gonna step 1 foot forward, and then we're gonna bend and straighten that knee. And this back hand can stay here. So we'll bend the knee a couple times. Nice. And then we're going to hinge at the hip joint. So then we'll fold forward. And you can bend that knee as much as you want or as little as you want. The straighter the knee, the deeper the stretch. But again, we don't want to hyperextend anything, so keep it somewhat soft. All right, one more forward fold here with our pyramid, and then bend the knee, and you can either step the back foot forward or the front foot back. All right, let's try the other foot. Step that forward, pull in front, and then we're going to bend and straighten that knee. Excellent. All right, so then we're going to switch to the fold now. So hinging at that hip joint, you can bend the knee as much as you need. You can go down as far as you want. You can also bend that back leg if that calf is tight. Excellent. Okay, so bend that knee, step the feet back together. And all right, so let's do this one. I'm gonna do a bunch of different ones. I want to try and remember. It's like when you do something once and you just learn it and then you're like, okay, wait, how do you do that again? But we'll do a bunch of the other ones first. So let's start with, we did cat and cow. Let's do the lateral. So we're gonna bring one arm out to the side. So I'm gonna do this side. So the hand is below the shoulder on this side, and we're gonna do one side at a time. Feet are nice and wide. I'm gonna inhale, bring this arm up and over, exhale, bring it back. Yeah, yoga's hard to do when you can't breathe. Who knew? All right, two more. Excellent. And then we'll switch sides. And below that shoulder level, inhale and exhale. And one more. Nice. All right, and release. All right, check it out if you like, any point in time. Next, we're gonna do our twist. So wherever you like the bar, over high. And it's an inhale in the center and then exhale to the side. Inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. Or you can just swing it back and forth. Just being mindful of the spine. Keep a little bend in the knees. Excellent. And then one more time each side. Nice. All right. So we're going to do a couple of half sun salutations. Option to do it without the pole if you like it better that way. Otherwise, here we go. So we're going to inhale, bring the pole up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms coming up. And then exhale down. Excellent. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms coming up. And exhale down. Nice. One last time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms coming up. And exhale down. Nice. All right. So let's do these 2 next. So we're going to take the pole behind the head, kind of where. So this is C7, where the biggest a cervical vertebrae, that's the biggest at the bottom of the neck. So we want to be about there. Up too high is not going to feel great. Down lower is not where we're going. So the hands can drape over the pole and just make small circles here. Excellent. And when you're ready, you can switch direction. Excellent. All right, so we're going to grab the pole with our hands and use it. If you don't have the foam on yours, this might not feel as great, but you can roll it up and down the neck. Nice little massage there. Excellent. All right, so for the new thing that I learned this week, so we're going to take the pole in one hand with the thumb pointing towards you, and then grab it with the other hand with the fingers pointing behind you. So it looks like this. And what we're doing is a massage here on the shoulders. So this hand is kind of almost down back here, and you're just kind of rocking it back and forth. And then moving side to side this way. And then I wouldn't go all the way onto the neck with this, but maybe just that right in here. And not putting too much pressure on it if you're not used to doing something like that. Okay, so now we're going to switch sides. This is the fun part. So keeping the pole in the hand that it's in, we're going to release the back hand, bring that hand up, thumb point towards your head, and then switch hands. Oh yeah, that was like cool. And then doing the other side.
That's magic.
It is. And it's free. Like you don't have to pay I don't know, what's a massage nowadays? At a nice place, $150. And one side might be a little tighter than the other. That can happen if you want to work on one side more than the other, or if you need to go back to the first side, that's fine. Or if you want to stay after class and do this all over again. All right, so if you're ready, we're going to release that. You can bring the pole in front. And let's do our big giant circles. Sorry. Runny nose again. Okay. So hands, poles out in front, and we're going to go over the head. If you can. If you can't, then you can keep it in front. Or go slow and let it warm up, and then you might get a better range of motion. Oh. hard having yoga off for a couple weeks and then coming into poles first week back. All right, and then we're gonna reverse direction. So I usually find the direction I started with was easier than the second one. Excellent. All right. So release that. And then let's do this one next. All right. So we're going to grab the pole at the top and the bottom straight in front. Oh, wait. So that it looks like this when it's sideways. So we're just going to do this side to side. Not used those muscles in a while. Little bend in the knee. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Keep going. Excuse me. Thank you. All right. So then let's switch which hand is on top and go the other way. Okay, I can feel that in the triceps. That's pretty cool. You might be feeling it somewhere else. That's totally awesome. All right, so we'll finish that one off. If you want, you can shake out the arms, shake out the legs. And all right, we're gonna do one more hard one since I just sneezed. I feel like I can breathe again for a minute. All right, so feet are nice and wide. I'm gonna go sideways after I show you this. So we're gonna bring the pole back onto that C7, bottom of the cervical neck there. And then we're hinging at the hips so that we have spine is parallel to the floor. And we're gonna make circles here. So a little bend to the knee. And then when you're ready, we'll reverse that direction. Excellent. All right, release that, bend the knee, come back up. And then I'm gonna blow my nose and then we're gonna do some balance. All right. First order of business is let's do palm tree pose first. So options, you can do just the feet coming up on the toes and then lift the toes if you want, if you like that. You can do just the arms. So arms up with whichever way you like, with the pole, without the pole, one arm at a time. So we can do this without the pole, just feet, just the arms, or I'm going to do it with the pole. All right, so here we go. So on the inhale, coming up on the toes, arms come up, and then down on the exhale. Excellent. All right, one more. Nice. Okay. So next one is Karate Kid Flying Crane, and I'm going to do it with the pole, but all the other options are just the legs. You can do one at a time, holding onto the pole. You can do the arms out or cross hands over, and then you can also do like opposite arm and leg. All right, so I'm just gonna do legs up and arms up. So it looks like this. One knee up, pull up. That's the inhale. And then the exhale is coming down. Excellent. And one more time each side. Nice. All right. So I have a new balance pose, and we don't usually do it in class because there aren't walls where we can all lean up against. I'm going to kind of show you on this wall what it looks like. If you ever want to do it at home and you don't have a pole, you can do it with a block. So I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to do it with a pole. All right. So it is called Half Moon. All right, sorry. One more nose blow, and then I will do the pose. Okay, so it's a balance pose. And if osteoporosis is something that's on your bucket list of things that you're dealing with, this is an excellent pose for that. The muscle pulling on the bone is what activates the bone to build. So this is a balance pose where mostly all of your weight is on one leg. So that's helpful for the leg and then the one arm that's on the floor. All right, actually, I'm gonna go this side, sorry. All right, so you have, your feet are kind of like this, pointing towards the block. And then you have one hand on this block. And I have the wall here. So I would recommend if you're doing this at home, you do it near a wall in case you get wobbly, you wanna fall back towards the wall. So we're gonna lift this back foot up, and the pelvis is tilted up, and then we're gonna bring this hand up. Okay, so that's what that looks like as something to practice at home. But we're gonna do it with the pole, and I'm just gonna do it straight. Since you saw it sideways, kind of makes sense this way. So the foot is about as far back as the length of your arm. And that's pointing towards the pole. And the back foot is going to be kind of at an angle until we bring it up. So the first time doing this, you don't have to get all the way into the pose. That's what I like about using the pole with this, is what you can do is grab the pole, being on the back toes of that back foot, and you're going to work into it. So just lift the leg up and then set it back down. Yeah, that's why you want to wall.
Yeah.
All right, so just coming in and out on this side, lifting that leg up.
That pulls on the
So
lower muscles of the.
your like glute, your upper glute, yeah. So that's what you're activating is
Yeah,
to lift this leg. That's your medius, I think, medius. So that's a good exercise for that, because a lot of us, gluteus medius, it's the middle one, the medium one. It's not the big one, but that's a good muscle to activate. But if it hurts, don't go as far. Just start with lifting it up. All right, switch legs, and you might find that the other leg is weaker or stronger. So that front foot is pointed towards the pole, back foot lifts up. You have a little bend in that front leg. Next week, if we want, maybe we'll find there's a couple of pockets of walls that maybe we could practice with the other one if you want. And then if you feel like you've got this and you want to try it for realsies, lifting that leg up, you're going to extend the back heel. Try the other side here. And you can go down as far as is comfortable. So if you can, yeah, you gotta kind of build that muscle up a little bit. We don't use that muscle very much. A lot of people have, what do they call it, dead butt syndrome? Because when
Not
you're,
very descriptive.
right? Yeah, because those muscles aren't activating. When you walk, you don't really use them, even though you think that's where your power is. But most people are using
It's more when you're climbing.
going upstairs, definitely. Yeah, lifting is what's going to do it. And then if you have those stretchy exercise bands, leaning up against a wall, putting it around your knees, and then pulling the knees out like that, that's going to activate that too. All right. Nose is doing okay for the moment. Let's keep going. Let's go. So that was probably, I don't know if that's easier or harder than dancer pose, but once you kind of learn the form of it, and the purpose of it is really building up that single leg strength. And that's really nice to get that activation in the upper glute. So let's do a tree pose, and then we'll do some more after that. All right, tree pose. So again, you can put the pole away if you don't want to use it. Otherwise, we're gonna root one foot to the floor. You can start with tripod, heel above the ankle. And then we want to check in with this straight leg hip, nice and strong, activating those muscles around it. If you have the pole and you want to, you can bring that foot up higher. Again, this is another pose. If you get that foot up off the floor, where we're putting all of the body weight onto one leg to strengthen that leg. So you can use this arm on the other side, and it can move or stay where it is, whatever you like. You guys get to breathe. I'm gonna not, so I'm not sneezing and dripping and being gross. All right. So ideally 8 seconds to 90 seconds, somewhere in that range is your osteoporosis target for building bone strength. All right. Sorry, come out gracefully if you want. I got distracted and was talking. All right, and then the other side. So typically you want to do on one side what you do on the other side. If one side's not as strong, stick with that and build that up. All right, because we want to be balanced side to side. So check in with that straight leg hip. This arm can be wherever you like, moving, stationary, not sneezing. Excellent. And then when you're ready, coming out nice and gracefully. Excellent. Shake it out. All right. So everybody's different in terms of what's easier and what's not. For me, pigeon's easier than dancer. So I do pigeon before dancer, but if you're practicing at home in like different order, that's fine. All right, so for pigeon, we're gonna start with one foot on the floor, bend that knee, so we're making a little shelf, and we're gonna bring that opposite ankle or foot on that little shelf. So again, if you don't need the pole, you don't wanna use it, that's totally fine. All right, from here, option to stay here or fold forward and come into a sleeping pigeon. And then when you're ready to come out, we're gonna push that foot into the floor, stand up, and then release the legs and shake it out. All right, on the other side, we're going to bend the knee, make our little shelf, bring that ankle or foot on that other leg. Hang out here for a bit, breathe if you can. Excellent. And then if you want, you can fold forward and come into sleeping pigeon or stay where you are. Excellent. And then when you're ready to come out, push the floor or the foot into the floor, standing up and shake it out. All right. Tiring that Kleenex. And yes, I did grab the whole box. All right. Dancer is next. All right, so if, I actually have one strap in here. If you can't reach your ankle or your foot, that's okay. We always have options. You can bring, off screen, that's okay, you guys can see. You can bring your leg up onto the chair or grab a strap and you can pull up on that foot. If anybody wants a strap, raise your hand. I can bring it to you. Otherwise, we're going to do our dancer pose here. So pull in opposite hand of the foot you're going to grab. For logical sense there. All right, so ankle or foot. And then we want to keep the legs close together on this to start. If you can't reach your foot without collapsing, it's not as great as if you can stand up straight. So we've got an open chest here. Yeah, and then point that knee towards the floor. Feel that those quads stretch, relax maybe. Yep. So if it's out here, they're not activating. That's why I want you to have that knee pointed towards the floor. All right, if you want, you can just stay right here and keep going with that. If you want to increase, sorry, lost my grip. Increase the intensity here. We're gonna point that knee towards the back wall. So some days I am more flexible and more balanced than I am today, and I can sometimes lift this pole off the floor, but not today. All right, to come out, we're gonna bring that knee and point it back at the floor and then release the leg. Shake it out. You can shake out both legs since you're standing on that one. All right, other side. So maybe the first side was super easy or super difficult. The other side might be the opposite. So we're gonna grab that ankle or foot and start by pointing that knee straight down. And we want to open up the chest a bit here, so maybe looking towards the horizon. I mean, you can look down on the floor, that's fine, but we want to keep the shoulders back a bit instead of hunching forward. All right, option to stay here or point the knee towards that back wall. Excellent. And when you're ready to come out, we're going to point the knee back down first and then release the leg. All right, shake it out. All right, dancer tree. Okay, so let's go back to our warriors. So we're going to start with warrior one. And usually I do the one where we fold forward and come back up, but I think think my nose is telling me no, it's not a good idea today. So let's start with opening up the knees first though. So we're gonna turn one foot out, step the first foot forward. We're gonna inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. Keeping an eye on that knee if you want, aiming for that second and third toe. Excellent. And then push off, step back, or step the back foot forward. Turn that foot out, step the other foot forward. Let's open up this side. So we're gonna exhale, bend the knee, inhale, straighten the leg. Aiming for that second and third toe. Excellent. Push off, step back, or step the back foot forward. And then let's add the arms. So option to do it where we fold forward. If you want, I'm going to just do the arm up, but do whatever you like today. So you can do this without the pole. If you want, you can do both arms. You can do cactus arms, hands to heart. It's dealer's choice or student's choice, not dealer's choice. So whichever one you like. So I'm just going to do regular. All right, so here we go. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Excellent. One more. Nice. And then we'll switch sides. All right, ready? Here we go. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Nice. And one more. Excellent. All right. Step the feet back together. Let's come into our, before we do warrior two, let's do a high lunge. All right. So again, you can do it without the pole. We're going to step into it and then lift the arms up. All right. So I'm going to lift one knee up. And step back or step that foot forward. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift. And then exhale, step the feet together. So then you can step back or step the first foot forward. And then back. And let's do that one more time. Excellent. All right, let's do the other side. You can step that foot back or the other foot forward. And back, second time. Nice. And one last time. Excellent. And all right, warrior two time. So the pole goes in that backhand for warrior two. Front knee is bent over that front ankle. The arm in front is in front. All right, so let's take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll do side angle pose and then peaceful warrior. Okay, so we're gonna bend that front elbow, coming down to side angle pose. And then inhale, peaceful warrior. Back to side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And one more time through. side angle pose, and peaceful warrior. Nice. Back to warrior two. And then we're going to switch sides. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So take a couple breaths here. Gazes over those fingers in the front. Soften the shoulders. And then we'll bend that front elbow, side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. And inhale, peaceful warrior. And one more time through side angle pose. And peaceful warrior. Nice. Back to warrior two. And then we'll drop the arms and step the feet back together. Excellent. All right, check it out. Oh, okay. We didn't do any of the hip stuff. All right. So let's grab the pole and bring it so it's on the sacrum, just below the top of the iliac there. And then palms face forward. Feet are nice and comfortably wide. And then we're just going to make circles. And then when you're ready, reverse direction. Excellent. And release. So next, we're going to skip back bend. Sorry, that's just a disaster for today anyway. Let's see, what did we forget? Oh, let's do some hip stuff. Okay, so the pole can be in one hand, or if you want to do this without a pole, that's totally fine too. We're going to lift one leg up, out, and around, and back. Excellent. And then let's reverse legs, or not reverse, switch legs, and then we'll do reverse after we do both legs. So forward, back, out, and around. And last one. Nice. All right. Let's go back to the first leg, and we're going to go backwards. So you can lift that leg, go back, forward, and around. And last one. Nice. Switch sides. We're going to go back, out, and forward. Excellent. And release. All right, check that out. Let's do, look up for this one. Yes, we're going to do it. Okay. I don't know if they have a name. Hip swings is kind of what we're doing. So the pole is in front, and it can be off center a little bit. That's fine. We're going to bring the leg out, in front, back out, and behind. So we're just swinging it. Nice. All right, release that one, and then we'll do the other side. So swing it out, in front, out, behind. Nice. All right. Hopefully that felt fabulous. Um, all right. So let's do, we did that one. We're gonna do a triangle and then we will counterpose and then make our way down to the floor. All right, so for triangle, pole in front in the center, 1 foot up near the pole. We're gonna bring, so I have my left and my left hand. Left hand's gonna go down, right arm's gonna come up and over. And then I'm looking up towards under that other arm. So you can look towards the horizon, down towards the floor, or up towards the ceiling. And that front knee is mostly straight, but you can have a little bend or a big bend if you need, no worries. And then when you're ready to come out, we're gonna bend that front knee. You can walk back up the pole and then step the feet back together. We'll switch sides. So this back arm is going to come up and over, walk that lower hand down. That knee can be as straight or as bent as you like. We're looking kind of up under that upper arm. You can look at the floor, the horizon, or up towards the ceiling. Excellent. And then to come out, bend that knee, walk the hands up, and step the feet back together. All right, so let's come down to the, oh no, wait, let's do a counter pose and then we'll come down to the floor. So option to do cat and cow with or without the pole, or dolphin is usually what I like to do, but I'm gonna just do cat and cow. So if you want to do dolphin, it looks like this. Cat and cow is just like this. So either one works as a counter pose. So do a couple of more of those and then make your way down to the floor. All right. So we did a lot of asymmetrical poses. So I'm going to do a little seated cat and cow here. I want to make sure we've got all of our bases covered here. So if you're sitting cross-legged, you can bring your hands into your knees. If your legs are out straight, hands under the thighs. We're going to exhale back to cat. And then on the inhale, rounding up, hooking up to cow. And back and forth between the two. Excellent. And then back to center. So from here, let's bring the legs out in front. So next month when we do polls, I learned a bunch of stuff on the floor that we're gonna do. That is like crazy cool, but we're not doing it today because
Baton cool or?
there's some of that. But not on the floor. You do that standing up. But there's shorter poles and you do it with the short. So I'll bring those with me next time and we can do some baton. She's like, it's really good for your wrist. I was like, okay, this hurts. But yeah, so there's stuff on the floor that we'll do that you guys will like. There's one that I absolutely love, but can't do it today. All right, so let's do wide leg first. So we're gonna bring the legs out nice and wide as is comfortable. Excuse me. Okay.
What a trooper.
It's like I can take a Benadryl, but then I would be either super hyper or sound asleep. So that's can't drive and take Benadryl.
Too unpredictable.
Yeah, usually makes me hyper, which
He's got
we
money.
don't
I'd like
need.
to see
It's
that.
not
Get
pretty.
what you asked for.
Right. All right, so let's do a forward fold first here. So I had class last night and one of the people were sitting like this. So to get out of this back tilt with the pelvis, put your hands on the floor, lift the body up, and then come back down on the sit bones. And hopefully that pelvis is tilted a little bit more forward. I don't know if you felt that or not. Hopefully you can see the difference. Either way. All right, so we're gonna exhale, hinging at those hips and come forward. And you may only go a couple inches, that's totally okay. We've been in these bodies a while, so maybe they don't move like they did when we were little. So the knees are soft, the feet are relaxed, and we're gonna use the breath here to maybe come a little bit more forward. So inhale, lift, exhale, fold. And if it gets tight in the back of the legs, kind of bend the knees a little bit more. But really use that breath. That's what's going to get you a little bit deeper. And maybe you don't get closer to the floor, and that's okay. But if you're feeling that stretch without pain, then you're doing just fine. All right, so now that's enough torture for today. So we're gonna come back up, but we're gonna do it nice and slow. So we're gonna use the hands, lift the chest up so that we have a nice line from the neck all the way down to the tailbone, and just come back up. All right, nobody died, okay. All right, we're not done here yet. So we're gonna bend one knee and bring that foot into the other thigh. And we're going to use our arms here. So we're going to inhale the arms up, turn the torso so the belly button is facing that extended leg. Exhale, fold forward. And as you come down, you can actually walk that hip back a little bit. Inhale, come back up. We're going to do two more. Exhale, fold forward. Tap down, inhale, come back up. And then exhale on this last one, grab the leg wherever you're reaching, pull the chest forward again. And if it's comfortable, roll down. If not, keep the gaze at the toes and keep the back straight. Excellent. All right, to come out, we're going to extend the arms over the legs, push the leg into the floor. Coming up, turn back to center, exhale, release. Use your hand under your knee to bring that knee back up. Extend the other leg out, foot into the thigh. All right. Inhale the arms up, turn the torso towards that extended leg. Exhale, fold forward. As you're coming down, you can walk that hip back a little bit. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. One more, inhale up. And then exhale, fold forward. Grab that leg wherever you're reaching. You can round down if that's comfortable. Drop the chin. Excellent. When you're ready to come out, extend the arms over that leg, push that leg into the floor. Inhale, coming up, turning back towards center, exhale and release. Use the hand to bend the knee, bring that leg in. We're going to bring the knees in front, wrap the arms around the knees, drop the head, and you can rock side to side. Excellent. All right, from here, we're going to bring the feet up to the top of the mat and come back onto the spine. I'm going to stay seated because because it's just gonna get ugly. So we'll start with bending the knees, bringing the feet into the mat, and we'll do some windshield wipers with the knees. Excellent. And then from here, we're going to extend the legs all the way straight out. And on the inhale, arms up overhead to the floor above you. Exhale, arms back down by your side. So we'll do palm tree pose arms for a little bit. Excellent. And then release. And then last one here, we're going to bring both knees into the chest. Option to do one knee at a time, or both knees, or wide-legged Apanasana. Excellent. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the feet back down to the mat. Option to extend the legs all the way straight out, or keep them bent if that's more comfortable for the spine. And then coming into our final relaxation pose. Getting any last little wiggles out. I'm right by the heater, so I'm pretty hot, but if you want a blanket over you or under your head or your feet up on a chair, or whatever's comfortable today. And then let's do a full body relaxation, walking up the body, relaxing each part as we go. Starting with the feet. Relax the feet. Relax the toes, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knees. Relax the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. We'll take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And to bring breath back into the body and find our way safely Let's finish with a lotus breath. So the pinky and the thumb stay together and the base of the hands. Fingers close on the exhale, inhale, open. All right, 4 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And again, inhale, open. Exhale, closed. One last time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Hands together at the heart and namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming on a crazy, foggy, cloudy day.
Thank you for coming.
No, I feel totally